Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Divisional.
That's right, it's the Lion Fan Cave chat. I've got Joey Osto, Keegan, Chicken Nugget King, Austin, and PC Payload Brian. Drilla the Drilla should be here soon. So how's it going, gentlemen?
Doing great.
It's another day.
Good.
So
Doing
less
good.
than 23 hours and 40 minutes from now, what will we be doing? We'll be watching the kickoff. Hot damn, it'll be over. One way or the other.
Isn't that wait time the worst?
That's a long wait. It has been. It was the worst. Waiting a week to watch your team play again. To watch everybody else in the division just fall so flat on their face, they face planted. Like Tony Hawk when he failed to land his Indy. Michael Huck, good to see you, my friend. So, Joey, what is new in the Eagles world with your team?
Well, I was looking at the injury report, which is everything that's been talked about. A lot of guys are just resting. Saquon's been resting. So is AJ. I know he had the knee issue, but he's definitely on resting. Dallas Goedert actually caught the flu, so he's kind of like stuck with that. Cam Jurgens is getting rest along with Jordan Mailata, and then Kenny Pickett with his ribs, but hopefully we won't be needing him.
All right. So for us, Zietler's out. We knew Pat O'Connor was out. They said that at the game that he would probably miss most of the season or the rest of the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Monty's back, and he's been practicing as a full go all week. And it's Ray Straw, like Dallas Goedert. No, he's got that damn weird, whatever the cold flu thing that's been going around plaguing all of the NFL. It's been getting like 1 or 2 players every week from every team.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have ABV. Anybody but Builder.
Rick Straw is not out. He is questionable, so there is a chance.
He's questionable, but the last time that it was like this with Mosley, he ended up being out. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking along that same
Yeah.
line because he didn't do any of the practices. Chicken Nugget King, what do you think about that injury news?
I think that it feels good to have Knuckles back. I hope E can definitely come back, and I'm not talking Emmanuel Mosley. I'm talking about Ennis Rakestraw because we all know, Emmanuel Mosley seems to be injury prone. Pat O'Connor, get well soon, and Kevin Zietler, I know he's down and out, but we have the dirt bag who's going to be definitely stepping up and playing Christian Mahogany, starting and whatnot. So I feel good about our chances with guys stepping up and playing in this game against the Commanders.
Gotcha. All right, Austin. Gotcha. All right.
With Chicken Nugget, I think Mahogany's going to step up in a big role with Zietler being out. But I also think having Montgomery back is going to help kind of bring the workload off of Gibbs. I still think Gibbs will get the majority of the workload just because Monty is fresh off that injury. But with
Right.
what did he the last 3 games Monty did, and Gibbs kind of showed what he's capable of. He can be that workhorse back that Monty is. But Monty's going to be huge for our 4th down conversion attempts as well as short yardage attempts as well. And going up against Washington, who is bottom tier in the league against the rush, I feel pretty confident.
Cool. All right, PC.
Yeah, did you guys catch any of the Tim Twentyman podcast? He does that little show like I don't know what he calls it, but he had Penny Sewell on it, and Sewell had something really interesting to say about Mahogany, saying that he's actually quicker and more aggressive than he is. And you saw Tim Twentyman kind of do a double take and said, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm serious. Like he's better than me." He literally, in a lot of ways, and I was kind of taken aback by that. But yeah, I think Mahogany will be fine. He's had so many reps already. He's had some game time as well. I'm not concerned about Zeitler being out whatsoever. As far as it goes with Montgomery and Gibbs, I think what you're going to see, and if you actually watch the interview where they did like the locker room or player interviews after training camp or after practice, Montgomery said he feels better than before he got hurt. So,
right.
He was very specific about that. He's like, yeah, I actually feel better than before I got hurt. And I think it has a lot to do with the bye week and getting rested and all that too. So, I have really no concerns about our offense whatsoever. Obviously, Vildor can be our Achilles heel, unfortunately. But I'm hoping they'll do some rotations with him and keep him fresh, put him in there when he needs to be in there. But I'm pretty damn confident, to be honest with you. I think, Austin, you commented on it. If we run the football, we win the game. And Washington has a hard time with the run game, the opposing run game. So
no,
not too concerned,
no.
Actually.
We're only talking about the 30th run defense in the NFL. They don't suck at the run.
We're going to spend the first half running the ball. Honestly, it's going to be screen passes and running the ball is the first half.
Right. It's going to be screen passes, running the ball to set up everything else. I see a lot of YouTube on League Week. The Lions fans are scared of Washington, really. First off, they don't know the rankings of each position on each side of the ball. Right? Yeah, I know. I think it's going to be a 10-point game. And because we're going to be dominating the time of possession, we're not going to get to the 40 point. Because of the run game. I think it's going to be right about that 30 to 34 point range. I actually think it's going to be something like a 34 to 24 win. That's where I'm at on it. I literally think that's the right way to be. Don't try to sell it that we're going to score 40, 50 points on them because they don't give up that many points. They are a good defense, but they don't stop a lot. Does that make a lot of sense of what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at 31.
That makes tons of sense.
They're losing their best player on defense, so.
Well, I was told Bobby Wagner was questionable, so until I see the final report he's out, I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the only way Detroit can beat Washington to score one more point than them. Hey, I got it. I know who's winning this game. It's the team that has the most points when the clock hits 0.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas won't let you bet on
I
that,
know
Jeremy.
that's
Sorry.
what it is.
Hey, mind if
I know.
comment about
Go ahead.
Kildor Vildor? I think
Yeah.
he's coming along. Honestly, I think he's coming along. Just take him out of rotations, but he's coming along pretty well. And you just got to make sure you put him in bright spots where he can succeed. And that's what they're doing well with. Put him in bright spots where he can succeed and get PBUs, not interceptions and much. But he's definitely going to be a vocal point with helping us with a little bit less and not much more.
Well, I will say he's patient, but when he is forced to start
Yeah.
because of injuries, he is complete booty cheek. And that's where I'm
He
at
doesn't
on
track.
it.
He
Because
just doesn't track the ball. It's the end of the day. He does not track the ball.
After 15 snaps, he falls apart. That's what I see. I just see after 15
I
snaps,
agree.
he starts to fall apart. And it's because he doesn't have that stamina to be a starting corner, which means you got to use a heavier rotation.
Yeah.
Chicken Nugget, I don't disagree with you, but you're not allowed to take away my punching bag, and he's the guy right now. So I'm sorry. Every team's got to have one.
Hey! I mean, it's all in fun. Keep on punching, bagging at him. Keep on doing that. But when your number's called, you got to take your opportunity and take your chance. And he's been taking his chance. Like there's a prime game.
I want nothing more for him to succeed, but there's a reason he's where he's at. It's just that's all I'm saying. There's a reason.
I mean, yeah, he's not a starter. He's not a starter. He's just a quality guy that you could use out there, like utility wise.
And that's exactly what I said. He's fine in that utility role as a rotational piece. But if you have to use him as a starter, he falls apart.
Cough, cough, Will Harris.
Yeah. Hey, James Burgess says, damn, SJB, that's deep. Personally, I think Washington's biggest nightmare is the fact Brad wasted a pick drafting a running back at 12. God, that was so funny when I was at the draft and I was listening to everybody in the room go nuts. The Lions fans on my show and listening to all the pundits on TV, and they're all going nuts. What the hell is Detroit doing picking a running back here? They had this person on the board. 2 years later,
where were
he
you,
has over.
Jeremy?
No, that was when I was doing it from home. In that draft.
Okay.
Yeah, last year was the only one I was in the media room, and probably the only one. And I don't want to get into that now.
So I was at Soaring Eagle with Dosa Dion, and I was not involved on his show or whatever. I was just kind of there hanging out. And you could hear the room go silent when Gibbs was picked. And I remember kind of getting excited, and I was just I could hear myself above the crowd getting excited, which let me know that I was being a bit loud compared to everybody else. And it was like, oh, the fuck, what the, and this and that. And then, of course, Jack Campbell, oh, the fuck, what the, and I'm just like, you people have no idea. Like, I'm in a room with a bunch of Lions jerseys, and none of these people have any fucking clue what just happened.
I know, because I watched that podcast that night after the draft, because I do a live reaction show every year, whether I'm home, on site, whatever. Chicken Nugget's been a part of it before. Keegan's been a part of it. Austin, this will be your first chance to be a part of it this year coming up. PC, you're more than welcome to join. Joey, if you want to be on, I go live every hour the draft is on. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
And I've done pretty good. I think overall I've got, a 55% hit rate throughout the entire draft on who I predict will be picked at certain places when I do it.
Yeah.
This is just going to be the worst draft to be a part of, to be honest.
Say what? Not a great draft to be a part of.
Yeah.
It isn't. It is not a great draft class. I don't.
This year.
Well, we're going to be picking 32, so there's the problem, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're picking, and let's face it. I think we're winning. So that means we're picking in the same spot we were last year as a worst case scenario, right? 29. That's worst case scenario. We're picking at 29. Best case scenario, we're picking at 32. So I'm trying to be realistic. I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse. But
what's compensation if we lose? It would be Glenn, correct? Yeah. So if we lose Glenn to a head coaching job, what's compensation for that?
it's third round
That's what I
compensatory
thought.
pick for any coordinator becoming a head coach, and that's Ben Johnson too.
I thought that was based on like
changed-
gender or
They,
race
they
or something
threw
like
out
that.
they threw out that part of the Rooney Rule last year.
Okay.
That's why you've seen a lot more compensatory picks in the third round last year. They threw that out. It doesn't matter if it's a coordinator and they become a head coach, you get a compensatory pick.
Yeah, I mean, I understood that, but I never understood that. If that makes any sense, it should just be you lose one of your main coordinators to a head coaching job.
You get
Doesn't
a
matter what color they are.
Right.
It shouldn't matter. Like you lose them, right?
The highlight of the draft was trading with the Packers to get Branch. It might be. I think it might be more if it's a minority coach, but I just know it's at least one. Oh, we were just talking about the past drafts, Patty. We were talking about the past drafts and the fact that I do a draft show, and we were talking about when Gibbs was picked from a comment. Oh yeah, it never gets old watching a Packer fan lose his shit on a podcast. Yeah, and especially
How's
Tom
that
Grassi.
watching his
But the first one he lost his shit over, let's not forget, it wasn't pick 12 when we picked Gibbs. It was the year before when we traded up with Minnesota and took Jamison Williams. He lost it. He absolutely lost it over there. He goes, "Oh God, no, Minnesota, don't do it. Don't let them take that guy. Don't let him be motherfucker." It reminded me of the Key and Peele skit where he was going over the names of everybody in the class. Son of a bitch!
Do you guys see his
Fun
reaction
fact
when they
about
didn't
Jeremy,
take?
since you-
Say what?
Sorry,
that,
fun fact about that skit since you brought it up, JB.
Yeah.
The actor that played Aaron grew up in Detroit, right? Or in Michigan. He's actually a Lions fan. I see him on socials all the time.
That's cool. But I do got some really, 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 really cool news that I heard off of TikTok. Because Von Doom, he does all of our Opus clips and puts them on TikTok to get paid. And our Opus clip from the draft reaction show, where we talked about Christian Mahogany, was liked and we're now followed on TikTok by Christian Mahogany himself. How cool is that?
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
And that was the one where I literally said, well, I know what everybody said at the draft, that he has one leg shorter from him than the other, and he's only going to be a right guard. I don't think Hank Fraley's going to let that happen. He will play left guard this season, was the clip. And he did play left guard this season when Glasgow was out.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy prediction right there, isn't it?
It is. What was funny is that after Von Doom sent you that,
Yep.
he sent it to me and someone else.
Yeah.
Making sure it was a real mahogany.
Who? Oh, to make sure it was?
Yeah, make sure it was a real mahogany.
Oh, yeah. I follow him on IG, and he follows me there. But, it's not, IG doesn't have as, liberal stuff as, TikTok has, and you can't really comment as easily and stuff like that. Like, if they don't follow you, you can't message them and stuff like that. Short leg or not, Mahogany can play either guard. He's going to be our starter next year, most likely. I agree.
Yeah.
And I won't be mad if Zietler retires. Mahogany moves to left and Glasgow moves back to right where he's better. Let's face it. Last year, Glasgow was a better right guard than he's been this year, all year at left guard.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
And our backup, because of Zietler being down, is Coyote Awasika, so that was confirmed as well. So Cameron,
You're muted.
your mic is either not on or muted. Hello, I hear nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Not sure.
What up, chat? Smash the like button. Love it,
Right.
PC.
Now.
I'm your moderator.
Can you hear me now, Jeremy?
Yes,
Yeah.
I hear you
He's
now.
gonna moderate
Yay.
these crazy motherfuckers.
Hey, sorry. I had poor clock management today. I was up in Chicago last night, and
Did you say Chicago or Chicago? I couldn't hear you.
He said
right.
Chicago. He said
Okay,
Chicago.
just check.
the curse of poor time management by Matt Eberflus is still there. It's very strong.
On a quiet night in Chicago when the wind dies down, you can hear Matt Eberflus finally call a timeout.
Yep. And confirm, I was there last night. I was there last night about 6:00. One of my buddies had to go pick up a trailer, so we made a 30-hour round trip from Dallas, Texas, all the way to Chicago, Illinois.
I think that was my biggest joke post I did on Ken and Ken that Monday after that game. Is they were sitting there talking. I said, "Hey, breaking news! Adam Schefter just reported Matt Eberflus just called a timeout at 11:30 a.m. Monday morning." And then he was fired at 12:03 when I went live while I was live.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah. No.
So they're allowing 4.5 yards per rush. You guys need to run it down their throats.
Exactly.
And we
They
got
allow
Montgomery back.
4.3. We allow 3.6 or 3.3. 4.3 to 3. That's a yard difference. And everybody says, "Oh, that's not a lot." Bullshit.
When you
That's a
get
big
that
deal.
on a first down rush, that sets the drive.
Right.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say, real question: what's worse, Commanders' run defense or their secondary?
Their run defense is way
Commanders'
worse.
run
Their
defense.
secondary is
Yeah.
not horrible, but they don't get a lot of takeaways. They reduced their amount of turnovers drastically from the offense. Last year, they were 31st in the league with 32 turnovers. This year, they've had 16, and they're right in the middle of the league. That's a huge turnaround, and that's mostly due to the fact, the O-line started blocking, and they got Jaden Daniels. Let's face it, he's not the Mayo boy that just sits in the pocket drinking his coffee.
I did
I'd say to add from that, I was gonna say, this Commanders' defense isn't all too great, so I feel like we should be able to run the ball, pass the ball on them. I just don't.
Well, yeah,
see
they're
I just don't see it being-
notorious for what is it, man coverage and
Man coverage and quarter zone. That's all they pretty much run. And Goff is second in the league versus man coverage this year. And his EVOA is 8.9 yards per pass. That's in-air passes.
Yeah, I know Detroit is ranked first against man coverage. And I saw something that said that the gap between Detroit and Philly, who is ranked second, is the same size as the gap between Philly and Chicago, who is ranked 23rd.
Right. Is that crazy or what? From first to second place, the gap in that from first place to second place and how good they do versus man coverage is the same as the gap between second and 23rd.
Dang.
I've also seen a lot of reports lately that are now saying that Goff is favored over Allen for MVP. So I've seen a lot more rankings where it's Jackson.
I know, I've seen
Goff,
that too, but
Allen.
until I see it on NFL Network, I'm not taking it.
No. I've been keeping an eye on all the end of the year awards. I've seen where Dan Campbell has passed Kevin O'Connell for Coach of the Year.
And I've seen where Dan Quinn has passed Kevin O'Connell too for second place.
Kevin, I've seen too many people. They're like, "Oh, well, Minnesota's in a rebuild." What are y'all rebuilding? Your defense improved, your receiving core improved, you got a better running back. the only thing you did was move from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Rebuild doesn't count in the NFL. It just doesn't. If you can't rebuild in 3 to 4 years, you've already hit your peak and you've got to start over. So it's not like hockey. It's not like baseball where it takes years and years and years and years and years to build up your team to hopefully have a shot at it. Your window is every 3 or 4 years if you do the right things at the right time. I'm actually agreeing with you, Cameron. Like, yeah, it's just not like every other sport. Now, basketball, yeah, you can just buy a bunch of players and you're good.
Yeah,
we've seen it. But in football, it is very, very well set up where you basically have a 3 to 4 year window. If you can't do it in 3 to 4 years, you're going to be in a perpetual rebuild. So for Minnesota to say they're in a rebuild, well, I guess that means they've been in a rebuild for 25, 30 years.
I was going to say, you've got arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the league with Justin Jefferson and Addison.
Right.
Yep.
You've got a good backfield with Aaron Jones.
Yep.
I mean, who was their running back last year? Who was their star running back last year?
Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison out the backfield.
And Aaron Jones was an upgrade from him.
Right.
You have your defense is just as good as it was last year. The only major shift you made was from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold, and we've never had an opportunity to see Sam Darnold actually do well because what teams has he played for? The Jets and the Panthers?
Yep. Panthers, 49ers,
he was a backup in San Francisco. Carolina was, a dumpster fire. The Jets have been a dumpster fire for how many years?
So many years.
Hey, Burgess, Baker, wait a minute. Baker's not a free agent this year. He signed a 3-year contract this past offseason with Tampa Bay.
I think they're saying that someone's going to offer. I think someone's going to offer Darnold the same kind of contract that Baker got in Tampa.
Yeah, it was
easy. And to be honest, go ahead.
That at the same time, I don't think anybody's going to offer that because of the last 2 games he played. He looked like the Sam Darnold of old in a pressure situation.
Here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people don't realize actually sets Detroit apart from the 31 other teams in the league. Detroit just goes out to play football and have a good time. How many teams do you see going out there throwing a touchdown pass to a backup tackle just because they can, just for shits and giggles? Like it's not.
I mean, it's not that many. It's not that many that do.
That play is literally called the Philly special for a reason.
The one where he threw the pass to
the skipper. Yeah. That's the Philly special.
I thought the Philly special was where a wide receiver would come around.
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
No, the Philly special is.
They have
Philly
3 or 4
is what they did with.
It's just like us. It was the same formation, the same look, just different personnel. You know what I'm saying?
To the opposite side of the field.
Yeah.
It's always to the opposite side of the field. And look, it was the same play from Amon-Ra to Goff. It was the same play from Goff to Dan Skipper. It was the same play going the other way where Montgomery swung the other way to throw the pass to Laporta. It's all the same play, just flipping it. That's all it is.
So I want to address James real quick. So James, the reason that Baker got $100 million contract with Tampa Bay is because his first year in Tampa Bay, he took them all the way to the divisional round.
Right. He took them to this round of the playoffs versus us.
You got Darnold, who took Minnesota all the way to the wild card in a rebuild and had the second best record in the NFC. But when it came down to crunch time and games that mattered, he just showed he's unreliable.
In defense of our current regime, which took over in 21, right? 21, 22 season.
2021, right?
We were rebuilding for 63 years before that.
I will say Minnesota being a 14-3 team is not a rebuild. That's just basically upper echelon type thing. I think that they're on the way up.
But they didn't regress any positions.
No, it's a rebuild. Right. It's literally what Brad Holmes tried to call our rebuild to begin with. I was like, no, a retool is you plug in 2 or 3 players and you stay at the same level you have been. That was a rebuild. He stripped the damn thing down to the studs. Anybody that didn't think it was a rebuild, take your hand and look at it like this. Grab it with the other one and pull it straight into your face.
It wasn't even a rebuild. It was a build from scratch.
Right.
Yeah. Rebuild.
Brad
Holmes. Yeah.
Brad Holmes said, "I will take."
Insinuates that you have pieces to start with.
We traded for Goff. We got Amon-Ra down.
Piled lumber, and we had a bunch of quickcrete in the bag.
Yeah,
and then we put quickcrete down, laid a foundation, and then we put some studs up. Yeah, so we had stuff. That's all we had.
We had a foundation. That was what we had.
In fact, I would argue that we were still getting rid of baggage that we had from Patricia before we could rebuild. So I think it was worse than a.
Oh yeah, I talked about that. Specifically about that first year. Was guess what? We had $78 million in dead cap that year, and nobody even realized it because we still fielded a team. The next year
we
were
had still
59.
trying to kick out our ex-girlfriend while we were dating this other girl. That was the problem.
We were still paying Matt Patricia while we were rebuilding in the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say this, and Jeremy, you have heard me defend this man time and time and time again over the last year. I am tired of the Jared Goff hate.
Oh, I don't give him hate.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you've heard me come up here multiple times over last year, and there are 2 players that I defended avidly, Jared Goff and Jameson Williams. And this year, both of them have proven that they are everything that, people hype them up to be.
Here he is. Beastrilla.
Oh, no.
The Trilla.
Beastrilla.
This guy right here.
That's right. This guy. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm talking to this fella right here.
I feel like the Brady Bunch. I think the Brady Bunch got one too many people now.
One too few. One too few.
Yes, sir. I'm late,
Here's
JB.
Story.
Hey, you're good. You're good, my man.
His name be
Turbo Duran. Hey, Lion fans, you guys better hope Jaden Daniels don't go off on you guys. You better hope Jared Goff, not Sonic and Knuckles, don't go off on y'all. That's all I got to say.
Here's the fact.
Here's my thing, because the biggest argument I've seen against Detroit's defense this year, you guys give up all these yards. You got, y'all give up like 400, 500 yards a game. Cool. What are the points?
Exactly.
Hey,
80,
Turbo, I'll take that bet.
Maybe
Turbo,
25 on a high day. Like,
This is
cool. You can take all the points you want. Hell, Minnesota had like 5 trips to the red zone. They got 0 touchdowns. 10 trips to the red zone.
10.
And
4 of
no
them
touchdowns.
we gave it to them. 4 of them we gave it to them. A failed fourth
And
down.
no
the 2
touchdowns.
interceptions.
And no touchdowns. Like, it's...
That's what I say. People focus on the wrong things. Stats for yardage, that's some bullshit. Okay? Because any team, the Lions can attest to you, you're not going to win because you got the most stats. They did that against Tampa Bay and they lost.
I told people, I was like, look, I would rather my secondary give you 800 yards in the air, and then once you get to the end zone, you get 7 points. You had 800 air yards. You went field to field or end to end 8 times, and you got 7 points out of it.
And that's a beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Right.
Defense is third down conversions percentage and red zone percentage. That is defense. That's it.
And that's what. And I
you're
don't
not
know.
going to score if your red zone defense is good.
Here's what I wonder, because we give so many red zone trips up, like they get to the red zone and then we just stop them. I'm wondering if like a part of it is Aaron Glenn letting them get to that point, letting them get that overconfidence and that carelessness in them just to shut it all down.
No, this is actually a working version of the bend don't break defense is what it is. It's a working version of it. It's the first time we've seen one that worked this good. The last time we saw one that worked this good, you know what it was? the undefeated season for the Patriots. And I'm not trying to bullshit it or anything. If you go look at the way that defense was, all the metrics that counted was third down percentage, scoring defense, and red zone defense, right? Same thing Beach Driller just said. That was the important thing. They were top 10 in all of it.
Mm-hmm.
What were they in yards? 19th. Guess where we're sitting? Guess where we're sitting at in total yards? Washington's at 11 with like 326. We're sitting there at 22nd with 340. It's a difference of 14 fucking yards. That ain't a touchdown difference.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely not.
But
Joey is
they've given up.
why he's here right now.
They've given up.
You're very quiet, Joey.
They've given up 54 touchdowns. We've given up 45 total.
And we had only given up, what was it, like two red zone touchdowns in like the first 12 weeks.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like it
Angelo
was
went
some
down.
of so, huh?
Until Angelo went down. That's true. Because after
Yeah.
Angelo went down, until he got back in between there was 8 red zone touchdowns. That was the difference in this defense.
And you saw, like we were struggling against teams, and we have this high-powered, Minnesota team coming into Ford Field. Oh, they're gonna punch you in the mouth and everything. Anzalone came back, and you could just see the shift in that defense. It's like from week 17 to week 18. No Anzalone to Anzalone. It was 2 very different defenses on that field, and that's all they're doing.
Yeah, it really boosts the defense up another notch.
Right.
It helped out pretty well.
People miss too. I think something about people might miss too is that putting Anzalone in also allows you to do a lot of other things. So he's not necessarily. Yeah, I think he had most tackles, didn't he? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
With his arm the way it was, but what it allows you to do is do all these stunts that you can't normally do because you don't have your anchor.
Yeah.
And so having him there means so much more than just communication, which obviously is huge. But having him allow the other guys on the line to do what they're supposed to do versus trying to play a guy and a half all the time. So him back is by far. I mean, if I had to choose, I'm being dead honest. If I had to choose between, say, David Montgomery coming back and him coming back, it's no question. Anzalone coming back is by far the more impactful player.
Was it confirmed that Rakestraw's playing, Jeremy?
Rakestraw is questionable.
Okay.
So he'll play. Probably in a limited role.
Yeah, right. I love it. Turbo comes up, F the Commanders, and F their stupid name too.
The thing that I love is like they were like, oh well, Anzalone's gonna play limited snaps week 18, and I think he played all but like 2 snaps.
I said that. I said there is no fucking way he's playing limited snaps. If he's in there,
limited.
He's in there to play.
He sat out.
Yeah,
2
he
plays.
played. Yeah,
he sat out 2 plays. It was like I think it was like 44 of 46 or something like that.
But at the same time, with him having those limited snaps out there, it still made the team get up. It still get the team hype and ready, to play.
He didn't have limited snaps.
We're talking about limited in a sarcastic way there.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about in a sarcastic way.
Yeah. With that limited snap count, you're expected to play no more than 18 snaps a game. Dude played 44 out of 46 defensive snaps.
Oh my goodness!
And that's not bad. That's good. That's a hell of a good thing.
There's always deception before the game too. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, no.
These coaches are going to get interviewed and they're going to be like, "Who's playing and how much are they playing?" And Campbell's like, "Yeah, I don't know about Anzalone." Means
never forget Jahmyr Gibbs' post to his Instagram story with the plays and the audibles on the dry erase board behind him, and everyone's like, "Oh, like he messed up," and Ben Johnson's like, "We know what they know." So we just write a bunch of BS on a dry erase board.
Right. Lions are just throwing shit to be fucking with people.
And Dan Campbell didn't care about it. Dan Campbell did not give a shit about it.
Dan was like, he did that?
He's like, oh, well, I got to go talk to him now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like that's why I said, like, the Lions are out here just, dude, they're having the time of their life right now. They do not care. They're just out here to have a great time.
Did anybody watch the end of how the team acted after they went head to head with the Bills and lost 48-42?
They're
They
like,
didn't act like it
okay,
was. They didn't act like it was the end of the world. They went out there, they congratulated the other team, clapped them on the back, the whole 9 yards, shook hands, exchanged
Yeah.
jerseys all over the place. We saw like 8 different jersey swaps between the players.
hmm
Yeah, something like that.
And
Mhm.
at the
I
end
mean,
of
at the same time,
the
at the
coaches
same
praised
time,
each
though,
team.
just think about this. If we do get into the Super Bowl with Buffalo, I
It's
guarantee you it's going to be a revenge factor going into that game because it
Oh,
was a
yeah.
good thing. That's why I said it was a good thing Buffalo beat us. Because
Right.
if we see them in the Super Bowl, now we have motivation to whoop their ass.
Here's
Right.
the funny part is, and here's the other thing that people don't realize about the Lions. They'll take a loss. They'll take it on the chin. You know, it's like Dan Campbell said, sometimes you just back to that stale water and bread ends, you know, remember where you came from because they lost to Buffalo and then proceeded to spank Chicago 34-17. They spanked the 49ers 40-34, never mind the fact that San Francisco was up at one point, and then just went out and punched Minnesota in the mouth. And that was after Minnesota dropped $2 million on tickets. My buddy sent me that, and I was like, it's going to be real unfortunate if they drop $2 million on tickets just for Minnesota to show up.
That lost them the game right there. Because if you are desperate enough to get sell $2 million worth of tickets to get people in the stadium, you done fucked up. Because that tells me you fear.
I was talking.
That's fear.
My buddy that I went up to Chicago with yesterday, he's a Commanders fan, so we were talking and everything. And I'd been scrolling through Facebook, and I saw where the Commanders were practicing with simulated crowd noise this week. And I'm like, here's the thing: you can get the loudest speakers known to man, put them around your practice field. You're not even going to have a fraction of what Ford Field is during a playoff game. Matthew Stafford was there for 12 years, and he came in for the wild card last year, and he was like, dude, he's like, it was never that loud in the 12 years I was there.
So not many of you guys know me. Jeremy knows me. I'm a studio musician of many, many years. I can handle about 60 decibels. Okay, 60 decibels will deafen you within a matter of minutes. I'm talking actual registerable, go to the doctor, you lost hearing, real hearing loss. I'm mostly deaf in my left ear. In fact, I wear IEM so I can even hear you guys. So I have to have in-ear monitors to do normal things in life. It was 53.5 decibels last year when we played the Los Angeles Rams for that playoff game. 53 decibels, consistently 53 decibels. Mm-hmm. People were walking out of there not hearing, like they just went to a Metallica concert and stood in front of the left speaker. That's how loud, that's how really loud that is. You can sit like exactly what Cameron's saying. You can simulate shit all day long until you're there and it's surround sound and you can literally feel your clothes vibrating because of the decibel, how high the decibels are. You have no idea what you're talking about. The Lions, the Ford Field has broken every sound record on record since we've been doing it for like 50 years. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
You cannot prepare yourself for that.
Look, I've been to Ford Field, and take it from me, I'm a season ticket holder. I've witnessed it firsthand, and even you've witnessed how loud this crowd can be from start to finish. It doesn't matter. This crowd will not go away. They are the X factor of this game and that defense, and helping them with delayed games and false starts. They're that main reason. You know what I'm saying? They are that main reason. They help them out a lot more than many people think.
So, as I stated earlier, I live in the Dallas area. So, I'm like 30 minutes from AT&T Stadium. So, December 30th, 2023, in AT&T Stadium for the Lions game and the Cowboys game. I was there all the way through that game till there were 3 zeros on the clock. When I tell you that Lions fans drowned out the Cowboys fans on that 2-point conversion that was called back, that's in Dallas, Texas. That's not Ford Field. That's not Detroit, Michigan. That's in Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. Lions fans were drowning out Cowboys fans, and everybody knows how obnoxious Dallas fans are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As I say, I was gonna.
And to think that was in Dallas, that's crazy.
The best
Like,
the best part of that game was spanking Dallas so hard that Jerry Jones cried on his birthday.
Yep, I
Yes.
remember that.
I was-
The other thing that people don't realize is, yeah, you can sit here and try and prepare for the crowd noise and Ford Field all you want to. But when you've got Detroit going into other teams' stadiums and you're hearing consistently Jared Goff over anything else, whether it be Kansas City, Minnesota, Chicago, Lambeau, Levi Stadium, SoFi Stadium, it doesn't matter.
Glendale, yeah.
AT&T Stadium earlier this year, when you're hearing Jared Goff over anything else and you're at an opposing team stadium, imagine what it's like when you're in their home field. It's 10 times
Yeah.
worse. You're not hearing yourself think.
Yeah, I've been in stadiums like that before, but the Lions put it to a whole nother level.
You also have to think. Also, it's a dome, so any noise that comes out, it bounces right
Exactly.
off that ceiling. And also, there's pictures out there that the Commanders are practicing outside
I saw that.
and
I
possibly using
I
simulated
think
noises.
their practice field is actually normally outdoors though.
No, I think it's inside.
Is it?
I think so.
Hold on, I can.
There's no way that they can prepare for the crowd when they're outside and using simulated noise. They need to use that inside, so then it's better to prepare.
Did I miss any topics
inside than
JB?
outside?
To like
Not
go
really.
fast on?
It's just been kind of a round table going around, but I'll get to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that I watched a game, at least at Ford Field, where the crowd didn't at least cause one false start, if not multiple. And as the playoffs, we saw it in the playoffs for sure, like times 3. So I expect it. It's not even a question, and I expect it to be beyond what it was last year. I expect us to break our own record as far as noise level tomorrow.
I do too. The one thing I want to say before I get to Will's take here is Turbo Duran asked about Texans beating the Chiefs. Can they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. I'm saying the way that team played this past week in the playoff, which would look like a totally different team than we saw all season. If that team plays, that team can beat the Chiefs. And I'll leave it at that.
The NFL won't allow it. The NFL will not allow it. Not going to happen.
The funny thing is the 3 guys that's helped them out the most since they fired that whole crew that was so bad through the first 7 weeks is Cheat Blakeman, Bradley Allen, and Sean Hockley are not calling plays the rest of the post. They're not calling any games the rest of the postseason.
Well, the guy that called their games that they won, he is calling that game. He's a referee in that game.
Yeah,
but I'm saying the first 7 games, that whole crew got fired.
Here's my theory on the whole NFL script thing. If it's scripted this year, I don't think the Chiefs are going to get the 3-peat. One of 2 things will happen. Josh Allen will finally get over his playoff hurdle and finally beat Patrick Mahomes to go play Detroit in the Super Bowl, where one of those 2 teams will claim their first Super Bowl. Or Kansas City will beat Buffalo in the AFC Championship. Kansas City will go to the Super Bowl. And I think Detroit goes to the Super Bowl and punches Kansas City in the mouth to claim, because here's what people don't realize is, if they look at it from an entertainment standpoint, it's kind of like booking WrestleMania. You want the most unexpected but feel-good story for your main event. You want that Cody Rhodes finishing the storyline at the Super Bowl.
And
go ahead.
We got one thing to worry about too. And I don't care what anybody says, but Philadelphia and Saquon Barkley, that's a different animal than we faced all season. If Saquon Barkley is running at 100%, it's going to be a tough game. And that's the only other team I can see that can beat us. I don't think the Rams can beat us at home.
I agree with you. I think Philly is the biggest threat to us. I don't think it's Kansas City. I don't even think it's Buffalo. I genuinely think that it comes down to it comes down to Philly to stop us from getting to the Super Bowl and winning it.
Yeah, I don't think it's scripted. I think it's nudged in the right direction. I don't think that they have enough power to script it. I think we'd all see that. They don't want to give away the, the overall. They don't want to pull the curtain down completely. What I'm saying is it's nudged, and it's exactly what Cameron is saying to a point where they look at, okay, what's going to sell us the most jerseys? What's the most popular thing? Because the NFL is the most rich nonprofit thing on planet Earth. It is. It's the richest nonprofit company on the planet. And how they make their money is selling ads and selling jerseys and promoting different websites that sell paraphernalia. And so whatever is going to sell the best for them is going to get nudged in the right direction. But I certainly don't think they control it. I simply think that they have a hand in saying, oh, well, we'll give Kansas City a chance here by calling a bad call to allow them another down. That's as far as I think it goes. I don't think it goes further than that.
And
I want to add on to Cameron's WrestleMania analogy. I was gonna say, you see all these celebrities go to a high stake whatever, and right now we saw last year we had Eminem and now there's Taylor Swift. They want those celebrities at their the main thing.
It's all money, man. It all brings them money. Whatever brings them the most money. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey,
Don't
can
fool
I
yourself.
can I say something about this?
Yeah.
Is that, the WrestleMania analogy is very smart. It's a very smart analogy and a great in-depth insight of teams from AFC, NFC. Whoever makes it gets there. They're playing for the biggest game there is. No matter if it's a celebrity or not, they're coming to this game to see who can really pull it off. And regardless if it's the Chiefs, Bills, whoever, I want to win it. I don't care about what nobody says. I want to win the Super Bowl. I want to win our WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, NFL style. I want to just go ahead and get it. Well, it doesn't matter who's in our way. Let's win it. Put the ass.
And the biggest thing is nudging it and everything. You saw the entire country was supporting Detroit last year, and they come up short by 30 minutes in the NFC Championship. And I opened TikTok, I've opened it anywhere from last weekend to today, and I'm seeing, 30 NFL teams cheering for Detroit. They're like, if my team don't make it, that's who I want. I've seen Packers fans cheering us on. I've seen Vikings fans, Bears fans, Cowboys fans, just teams that we've put absolute belt to ass all year on, being like, go and get it, Detroit. Like, this is your year. Go take it.
Yeah, and to your point on that, you can only nudge a game when it's close, right? So
Yep.
Detroit, it wasn't the refs that did it. They fucked it up. So you can't nudge a game when they're 14 points behind or 10 points behind or whatever. You nudge a game when it's a 3-point spread and you see that a team has a chance. If I were to do this, they might have another down. That's a nudge, right? I'm not talking about throwing. Detroit fucked it up, okay? There's nobody in here or any Lions fan can say that, yeah, we played a great game against San Francisco and we should have been there. We deserved it. The rest fucked us. That's not what happened. So when I say nudge, I'm talking about games are close. And how many games has Kansas City been close in this year? Somebody, it's a quiz.
Mostly all of them.
8.
How many? How many were one-score games for Kansas
11.
City? That
I think 8.
11.
11 one-score.
11.
And you're telling me that they magically pulled off every single one of those one-score games without any help? Bullshit.
Bo Nix.
It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you like statistics? Statistically, testicularly. That doesn't happen. I say that. It just
I
doesn't
like
happen.
that better.
They're the two straight teams.
Testicularly, what?
Yeah,
You just heard balls. That's all you heard.
it's Friday. I'm having a beer. Fuck it.
Balls.
I just really want to get past this week. Really do.
But
I do.
This is.
But I'm not looking past.
Yeah.
This is my bold prediction for this game. Okay. Yes, Jaden Daniels is like one of a kind rookie. He is. He's a guy that's poised. He does play well, and he's a calm guy. One of the best rookies I've seen in a long time, not named Lamar Jackson. However, all the Lions have to do is stop him twice, and they're going to blow this game wide open. Because you know why? The Lions are not going to punt in this game. They're not going to punt because Washington can't stop them.
If they go 3-down punt, I am gonna throw eggs at your house.
If they do that, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I want to Uber to Ford Field because I need to talk to somebody real quick." What the hell y'all doing?
Washington and Dan Quinn are just as aggressive on fourth down as Dan Campbell is.
Yeah,
I honestly think it's going to go just like how the Bills and Broncos game is, where the Broncos going to get their first punch, but the Lions take over after that.
I've been loving the all these edits about Commanders fans going, "We want Detroit."
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
All over.
you want it until you get to Detroit. And it's like, hey, if a divisional round exit is what you're hoping for, I mean that's the best case scenario for you. Like, cheer for that all day.
Lord, Will's Cricket Wireless is going bad.
So it's I can't.
Will, in your Cricket Wireless, I swear.
But
it's
just
just
do a GoFundMe account for him.
Dude has been in and out.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, all these edits about
James.
I like that idea. Gary, just fuck with them.
Just 31-20 though, James. I'm thinking more like I'm thinking like the Lions will score like 40 points.
Well,
42
that's the
maybe.
case, James. It'll be 40-7.
I think we're going to run the ball too much.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going there.
I think we're keeping on the ground. It'll be lower
I can't
scoring.
go there. It's going to be. They're going to get a low score. It's going to be 24-11. I'm going to say that now, and I do see them getting that because that's about what they've been averaging, around 20 points.
Yeah, but
we average 30 plus.
I hear it, JB, but I was just saying that if what James said, if we caught out, if Ben Johnson says Jared, go mess with the Lions, we'll win. We're winning the blowout.
I got one question.
Oh.
Joey, what do you think, buddy? You were so damn quiet.
If
all
you
these
guys,
damn Lion fans.
if you guys, if you guys run right, Washington gives up the most yards rushing wise between the tackles. So I think if you rush between the tackles, you guys are looking at Saquon Barkley taking the game, and I think that from there it's going to open up your passing. I'm not saying that like Washington's going to stop it, but you guys are going to get off on them.
And Joey, I got a question for you. How biased of an Eagles fan are you?
It's
a legit question because
that's a mean ass question.
It's a legit question because I've.
That's like saying how much do you love your wife? Don't say that. Don't ask those questions.
Joey, who would you say has a better receiving core, Philadelphia or Detroit, from a non-biased point of view?
No, come on.
Who
do you have? 35-24.
Devontae
40 is possible.
Is a 1A receiver on any other team but ours.
Who is?
Devontae Smith. That is a number one receiver.
I don't think he'd be a 1A here. I don't think he'd be a 1A here.
He wouldn't even be a 1B here.
If you were to put him on, let's say,
he might be
the
a
Chargers,
1B.
I'd say
the Chargers, if you put him in, I think Jacksonville as well. And
2018.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
wait,
then
James, are you
also,
talking about this one?
And even I would probably say, I don't even say Washington because I don't think Terry McLaurin's a 1A
Melinda Brown, thank you for popping in. We appreciate you, Eagles fan.
Joey, let me ask you this: do you think your wide receiver 1 is better than Amon-Ra?
Yes. Speed wise,
I think it's real close between AJ Brown and Amon-Ra.
I think it's close, but I think Amon-Ra has the edge. Amon-Ra is a more consistent receiver. He's got better hands.
So Amon-Ra, in
He's a better
my
route.
opinion, has better route running, and he has
Mhm.
better speed than AJ.
And
Because
hands.
AJ gets tired after 25 yards. So because of defense, he gets
That's stamina. That's not speed. That's stamina.
I gotta go
can't
nappy.
go. You have
I
to
ran
keep
25
up, right?
yards. I'm tired. I gotta go nappy.
Hey, Jeremy, real quick. Who had the highest catch rate of any, or who had the lowest drop rate of any receiver in the league this year?
This year, I believe it was Amon-Ra.
I want Mr. Consistency. That's who I personally. I want Mr. I tore my
But at
oblique
the
off
same
the
time-
bone, and I'm still playing 15 games.
The only thing that AJ Brown does less than Amon-Ra is run block. Amon-Ra is the most complete wide receiver in the NFL, and we've talked about this, Joey. I didn't bullshit you at all on how I felt about it. I think he's the most complete receiver in the NFL. But if you're talking about talent for talent at the top, I think you got a 1A, 1B, 1C, and then it's Amon-Ra in a class by himself, right underneath.
I think if you were to
It's
ask
AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson for best receivers in the league. It's 1A, 1B, 1C, and that's not me being a dick. And Amon-Ra is right behind him in a class by himself, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah, I think
and that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I think if you ask any defensive back or safety
think
or
that-
anyone dropping into coverage, I think if you ask the question, who do you not want to cover? I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's probably the guy you don't want to try to cover. I really
Here's
do.
the thing, Joey. This isn't me.
His ball movement or his footwork movement off the line is probably one of the nastiest in the league, and I don't think he gets credit for that because I've seen the guy get open when they were putting press coverage on him and putting hands all over the guy.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny when I think it was the last game, they were kind of talking about, well, Amon-Ra hasn't really done that much and he hasn't been active. I'm like, yeah, because everybody on the fucking team is doing shit. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're spreading the ball around. They're the most complete team in the league. Absolutely.
Right.
There's no question.
And
they're the
here's the
most
thing.
consistently complete team.
And that is the best problem to have when you are a good team. If you're a good team, you're going to have that problem. And that's what a lot of people.
That ain't a fucking problem. That's a great thing.
That's a great problem to have.
I don't care if nobody wins an award.
Oh, yeah.
I want the ring. I could give a shit about personal awards. I don't care about MVP. I don't care about best receiver. I don't give a shit about any of that.
Right.
If my guys are in the locker room celebrating, which is what they'll do because they're the most selfless fucking team in the league, that's all I care.
Right.
I got Terry McLaurin up there in that top 5 too, which is right behind Amon-Ra and everybody
Here's-
else. I think from 5 to 10, you can put all those guys in a line and switch them back and forth.
Here's
You
my
got
thing.
to remember CD Lamb too. CD Lamb's a good receiver.
Definitely.
So
He's up
He's one of the
At
best.
the same time, CD Lamb has had the same amount of 100-yard playoff games with way more appearances as Amon-Ra, and that's one.
Well, that's a testament to his team. That's not a testament to him.
So
if he had more playoff chances, I'm sure he would perform better. You can't use that as a logic for him being a lesser receiver than AJ Brown. Like I said, I think you guys got to know the top 5 are basically Chase, Jefferson, CD, Amon, and then whoever's behind him. This year, you got to remember something. The Chase and Jefferson were the leading receivers, but the rookie from Jacksonville was number 3 in yardage, and Amon was like 5th.
So here's my thing: is when I look at a receiver and I look at how do I rank my receivers? First off, the best ability is availability. How do they perform through injury?
That's true.
You don't see any, and huge testament to Amon-Ra last year. Dude tore his oblique clean off the bone and played 15 freaking games. But when you look at route running, when you look at consistency, he had 33 catches on 33 targets earlier this year in a row.
Yep.
He's not afraid to take a hit, but he's also smart enough to know, hey, there's no point in me taking a hit because I'm not going to get anywhere. So let me protect myself. I feel, of course, I think Justin Jefferson is the unanimous best receiver in the league right now. I don't think there's really a lot of arguing that. But
Chase could be.
Jamar Chase, I would put so Jefferson and Chase 1A, 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would disagree with Jeremy about putting A.J. Brown as 1C. I don't think, and this isn't me to take away from A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown is a phenomenal wide receiver. But I think when you put talent for talent between Amon-Ra and A.J. Brown, I think Amon-Ra just has that slightly higher edge. That would be 2A, 2B right there.
I think
and then you got CD
should be a factor as well, Cameron.
Yeah.
Compatibility with your team.
And then
you can be a fucking diva and you can catch everything under the planet, but if you're not catching it in the right situations at the right time,
and
you're
if
not
you're
compatible, exactly. If you're not compatible with the structure and the mentality of your team, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Look at Stephon Diggs. Diggs was phenomenal in Minnesota for years, and then he goes to Buffalo, and it's all about Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs could get 30 targets in a game and catch all 30. He's still not getting enough targets.
I'm still not going to. I still think they're the top three. I don't care. That's my opinion.
No, absolutely.
And that's where I'm leaving it at.
Well,
and like I said, I got Amon-Ra above everybody else in the league. And I'll die on that hill. I will die on that hill that they're above everybody else in the league. Those guys just have a different dynamic where they do something different and just slightly more game changing than what Amon-Ra
There you go.
is all I'm getting
I will agree with you, because I think, Bistrilla, you put CD right below Amon-Ra. Right? You went Amon-Ra, and I would agree with you there. CD's a great receiver when he's got a good quarterback there. He hasn't been producing for anything with Cooper Rush.
Open question for the panel.
Which one? Oh.
Would anybody trade Panay for Chase from the 2021
No.
draft?
Absolutely not.
No.
No way.
That question
No way.
was asked 8 times a year by different people, James. And my answer is the same thing. Hell to the fuck no.
There you go.
Panay Sewell was one of the best foundation pieces we could have gotten in that draft. And dude came out showing he was a smash mouth football player from, I don't remember what game we played the Rams in that first year. I think it was week 4 or 5. And
Aaron Donald went at
Aaron Donald grabbed him by the face mask and was trying to manhandle him around and, move him side to side. And Panay reached up, grabbed him, and pulled Aaron Donald to him and got in his face.
Listen here,
you don't see vets getting that smash mouth with Aaron Donald. And here you have a rookie right up in his grill challenging him.
Mm-hmm.
And doing so without hesitation.
You probably said, "I'll beat your old ass."
I want to go around and get everybody's prediction, but I'm going to start with our guest Joey from the Philadelphia Eagles, because I want him to give his score prediction for his game and then the Lions versus Commanders.
All right. Well,
what's your score,
I'll
Joe?
start with you guys. I think it's going to be 34-13.
Woo!
That now?
He said the ass whooping, belt the ass all the way.
I see. Because Derek Campbell's too smart, and he makes too many adjustments for teams to catch up with, especially later in the game when you're already behind. And if you guys get that running game going, and then it opens up your passing lanes. And like I said, with Amon-Ra, getting off the line is really crucial, and the guy is amazing at that. And I love Sam Laporta. I think to be honest, for me, I think he's a top 5 tight end in the league. Could arguably be a top 3 right now. So yeah, and I just don't think that they have the defense to keep up with you guys.
What did you say the score would be?
34-13.
Oh, wow.
Woo! That's an Eagles fan saying that, boy.
Woo!
That's an Eagles fan coming in with
How about
that.
yours?
Woo!
How about your Eagles
All right,
score?
now your score.
My score? I think ours is going to be a little closer because we have those slow starts. So if they don't fix that problem right now, because if we move on, we can't afford that against you guys next week. So I'm going to say it's going to be like a 28-17 win for the Eagles.
Right. Keegan, what's your score for our game?
Honestly, I kind of agree with JB. It's going to be it could easily be a 13-point game, a 13-point game. So I'm going to say 33-20.
Chicken nugget.
Oh, I just been locked in. I've been locked in. I just been locked in and focused on this game. I'm just so focused. Yeah, I think we're gonna go in and put Bill to ass like everyone has said in this panel, and just go ahead and clean sweep the Commanders. Yeah.
All right.
No score?
Yeah, no
All
score.
right.
Yeah, just
Score?
40. I'll go 42-10. How about that?
Wow.
Woo! That's a 32-point ass whooping. Woo! All right, Austin.
So I really think Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson are going to game plan to Washington's weakness, which is the rush. So I expect a big game out of Sonic and Knuckles. Not just running the ball, but they're also very excellent pass catching backs. We can hit them with play action passes or screen passes. It doesn't matter. Gibbs and Monty can catch in the backfield and turn it into like 25, 30 yards. So I'm going to go 37-27. Lions win.
All right. DC.
Austin, you're far too knowledgeable to be so quiet. All right, so I'm gonna go. So Jay, you and I 2 weeks ago, before the Vikings and Lions game, we joked, right? We said, wouldn't it be crazy if the Lions just like 40-0? We joked about it, and then they ended up winning 31-9.
38.
Yeah.
Close enough, right? Close enough. That was pretty fucking awesome. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I think here's my fear and my prediction. I'm going to be completely honest. I think we come out slow because of the bye week. I just do. And you and I were talking earlier today about this. They have actually had slow starts recently, but they see it. They dial it up. They make some adjustments. They go on to win the game. I do feel like we come out slow. I think the adrenaline from this young kid, this young stud over there, and I am no disrespect whatsoever. I think Jaden Daniels is a fantastic young quarterback. I think he's going to do great things in this league. I think they come out to a hot start, and I think we play from behind for about the first quarter. And I think we turn it on after that. We make some adjustments. I think we probably end up around 31-24. But I do not see a score in more than I don't see a score in 34 points. I just don't see it. I think we're going to run the ball. I think we're going to come out and try to fake them out a little bit and start throwing these screen passes to kind of push their defense back so we can run the ball, when what we should have done is just fucking run the ball. I think Ben Johnson's going to get a little bit too tricksy with it. And I think we have to adjust. So my final score, I'm going to say 31-24 Lions, but it's going to be tense for the first quarter. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right. We're on to Mr. Cameron. Go ahead and give that score again, you said?
I think 42-14. I think Washington's going to come out. They're going to, come out hot after playing against a close game against Tampa Bay last week. However, with that being said, I think that Detroit's going to wake up in the second half. It'll be close, ending the first half kind of like it was Minnesota Week 18, and then they're just going to pour on the gas. And it's just lights out offense, defense. I mean, they've shown that that's their MO week in and week out.
Right. All right. Beastrilla.
So this is how I see it going. I got them winning 38-14. And PC, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, they had time off. They ain't going to come out slow. Dan ain't going to allow that to happen. He's going to pound that in their head. I bet you he's been doing that all week in this. You ain't coming out slow. Nobody's coming out slow. We're getting in this game, and we're going to get to it. And I'm going to tell you, for the first quarter, it's going to be up and down the field by both teams. But then the Lions get a stop. And once they get that stop, it's over with for Washington. Because I told you, the Lions ain't punting in this game. They're not.
I don't want to be right, man. I do not want to be right about my prediction. I really don't. So I'm all with you, dude.
I like it. I like what James Burgess says. The Lions will run and probably run. Also play action a lot.
Yep.
I agree with all of that. Dan Campbell have a game plan and a trick play for the Commanders. Oh, you know that's going to happen. It happens every time with us. If we didn't have that, it wouldn't be a Lions game. You realize we've attempted at least 2 trick plays every game this season?
Mm-hmm.
You mean maybe successfully?
At one point, we had Penei Sewell try and throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was
and got the angry run of the week with it because of how he was stiff arming. 10-0 Commanders at half, 13 to 34 Lions win. I've got it at, like I said, I'm going to go with a 10-point win. I say 31-24, and I think it's because they do come out hot. But as soon as we score, whether it's the end of the first drive or the second quarter, that's where it ends for the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get a garbage touchdown late to make it look like a 10-point game. That's what I think is going to happen because we're going to come out hot. They're going to come out hot. We're going to start stuffing them in the red zone because they're going to get plays that come from outside of the red zone because they do have a good deep ball catcher in Scary Terry McLaurin. And also, Kwame Brown's coming into his own. Yes, he drops a lot, but he's doing much better at deep passes where they're contested. So that's where I see their scoring coming from is off of that. Keep a close eye. Brian Robinson Jr., their power back, is actually questionable. Bobby Wagner's questionable. Frankie Luvo, their best run defender on the outside, on the left side, which is where we tend to run Gibbs a lot. He's healthy. He's been a full go all week. And that's their best run defender on the outside. Don't get that twisted. We're going to be running to the right behind Mahogany and Sewell a lot.
And yet Urban still ran up the ass a lot in that game. So I'm not worried about the run game. I'm not worried. You know me, JB. I never worry about this offense. The offense is
there are 2 running backs. There are 2 running backs there's no answer for. Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs. There's no answer for these guys. 0. Right. They're going to get theirs. There's no way. I don't care. You put your best defender on either one of these guys, they're still going to get 100+ yards. Doesn't matter.
I loved it after he had that big game versus the Lions, Josh Jacobs. And all the Packer fans came out because he had those 3 touchdowns. He's the best running back in the league.
Yeah, right.
And come by week 18, Jahmyr Gibbs has 20 touchdowns and more than every other running back combined between rushing and passing.
You just got to plan for it. Like with Jaden Daniels, he's going to get 60 yards rushing. Just expect it. But that doesn't mean he's going to. I'm sorry, he is. He's good. He will get 60 yards rushing.
He's going to get 40. The 4th worst team against mobile quarterbacks. The 4th.
He's going to get 60 yards rushing, but it's not going to matter.
He's going to get his. They do that all the time. That's what they did to Josh.
You know what's going to happen?
That's what they did to CJ Stroud.
Because there's going to be nobody open, and he's going to be throwing the ball all over the field, and Kirby's going to have 2. That's what's going to happen.
Everybody you named had less than 60 yards rushing outside of Josh Allen. Every single one of them. Yeah, that was what made our average go way up, was Josh Allen, who had almost 100 yards by himself. And the only rusher that had it like that. You know what I'm saying? We're talking, you're doing apples to oranges. We didn't get to play Lamar this year. Thank God. That's all I got to say. Thank God we didn't get to play the Baltimore Ravens this year.
I was going to say, who knows? We saw our defense against the Vikings, and we smacked them. If we come in using that same game plan to Daniels, who knows what could happen?
I don't think.
I mean, Daniels is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just
Aaron Jones is not. Yeah, they're completely different teams.
I'm saying if we keep them in the pocket, don't let them run.
I understand we're not going to keep them in the pocket, but I'm going to say it's 40 yards. It's 40 yards is what he's going to get. 40 to 50 yard stops.
And it's not going to matter.
All the other, and it's not
going
to
to
matter
happens
because they're
when
going to
you
be in the
run
middle
40
of the
yards as a
field.
quarterback. Jeremy, guess what happens when you run 40 yards or 60 yards or 80 yards as a quarterback?
You're not in the end zone.
Those aren't touchdowns. Exactly.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Those are you scrambling because you have nowhere to throw the fucking ball.
However, scrambling is also a good way to find people open. And if the Lions go to sleep on somebody, that secondary sometimes does that.
Yep.
And find somebody in the middle of that field, they're going to go for about 60 yards for a touchdown.
That's why Jeremy and my prediction, just out of coincidence, is 24 points for the Commanders. It's just that's what we both said, right? I think that's where they get their points. They're not going to get their points on the ground, I don't think. They're going to get their points from Jaden Daniels making moves, making scratch plays out of nothing and getting those lucky throws. But at the same time, those don't win football games. What wins a football game? Yeah, you can do that all day, and that's going to take time off the clock. And then we're going to have these 9-minute drives that could go on, you know what I mean, over and over and over. And their defense is not going to hold up. That's where I'm at.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. Once they get those couple scores in that first quarter, because they're going to come out, they're going to be able to do it, whether we match them one or not. Let's face it, our first quarter scoring this year is the worst we've had in all 4 years of Detroit this year. Since Dan Campbell's been here, this has been the lowest average. I think it was 7.3 points this year. That's the lowest average we've had.
Our second quarter scoring.
Our second quarter scoring, it goes up to 14.2. Our third quarter scoring is above 10 for the first time since they've been here.
Yeah.
And then our fourth quarter scoring is up almost to 20. I think it was like 18.2.
Yeah, we could always remember the days, I mean, forever, that you could rely on the third quarter for the other team to come back because we didn't do shit.
Yeah, because we throw up either 3 points or none.
Ben Johnson getting conservative with his play calling in the third quarter because we have a lead. That's what that was. But that's okay.
But it is that time where I need to talk about my sponsor, which is Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road, in Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at $45 and up, depending on size and condition. If you need new tires, please allow 1 to 2 days for delivery. Call 810-233-8230 to get your quote from George or Red. If you mention this ad, if you're buying a set of new tires, you get $25 off. If you're buying a set of used tires, you get $10 off. Tell them Smoking Jeremy B sent you.
And the van is not included.
No, the van is not.
So,
and just for Turbo Duran, I got to tell him what my name for the Commanders is. It's the Foreskins because they were the Redskins before.
I hate that name.
Give you an advance, JB. Sorry that I'm going away from Lions, but I want to go back to that receiver talk about the top guys. All those guys that you mentioned play on the outside.
Yep.
They are going for those deep balls. St. Brown isn't doing that.
He plays all over.
He plays all over, but he's mostly slot. Which I say he's the best slot receiver in the game right now.
Right. But he's still, if you look at how he's ranked statistically, he's like the 4th best wide receiver in the league right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting at, because he does so many things differently. You'll see him be outside. You'll see him on jet sweeps. You'll see him throw a pass to Jared Goff. But are they the snip Foreskins? They will after tomorrow night. We're going to cast them away. Fuck the Washies. I want to say thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming in here. And Joey, thank you for being here as representing Philly. Everybody. Keegan, Chicken Nugget, Will for trying, even though he's got Cricket Wireless. Austin, PC, Cameron, and B. Strilla. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody. And let's go Lions tomorrow night.